Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have something I added to my truck from Banks. Most of you guys have seen this on my channel so far, and I have to tell you guys, people have been telling me about getting the iDash for a while, and I've done some research, but I'm just very slow to do anything because I never know how long I want to keep my trucks. Well, Banks decided to send this to me, and I have to admit to you guys, this is something, if you own a GM truck, doesn't matter what you own, if you own a vehicle with an OBD, you want to have this, especially if you have a diesel. Now, I'm sure you guys can probably tell right there. Oh, come on, focus, focus. All right, here it is. You guys can see my truck is doing an active regen. Right next to that ACT, you see PM1 328%. That is particulate matter. So I basically can monitor so many things, and they have multiple pages too that you can set up here. This is my page 2. I haven't really set anything else up, I'll be honest with you guys. I've just been really just honing in on this emissions crap. So I only have 2 pages, but they have up to 5. And you guys can see I'm in gear number 2. So yes, the GM trucks do start in gear number 2. But you guys also see DEFT, that's my diesel exhaust fluid tank temp. And this is my fuel rail pressure right there. I don't know why I want to see that, but I want to see that. Down below, I do have the PedalMonster. I don't have an opinion quite yet on it because I've only been running it in city, but dead pedal's gone, and that's obviously a plus. GM doesn't give you a boost gauge. I have a boost gauge now. Engine coolant temp is there, engine oil temp is there. And off to the left, this is just the PedalMonster. But yes, I will show you guys something really quickly. I just noticed, even though GM doesn't give you like a DEF, or no, I'm sorry, not DEF, they don't give you a DPF monitor, right? So with that being said, the only way you'll know if your truck is doing an active regen is if you're in this page under fuel economy and you take your foot off to coast. Now, my foot is off the throttle, and you guys notice how my MPG is not going up to 99. That's how you know when your truck is doing an active regen. So if you don't have the money quite yet to get this, because they're not that expensive. I think they're like $295, and you don't have to get the dual. I have the dual because I like a lot of information. But as far as this goes, this is how you'll know. Now let's talk about this active regen, because right now, as I've said in other videos, the reason why I've really been looking back and forth between gas and diesel trucks in the past is because of where I live at. I don't live right off the highway like I did in Maryland. When I lived in Maryland, I literally was 2 minutes from the highway. So whenever it was time for me to drive my truck, all I had to do was just hop in, jump in, 2 minutes, I'm on the highway. And I can drive as long as I wanted because I was right off of I-70s, and I mean I-70s east and west. Out here in Utah, I'm about 20-25 minutes from the highway, and unfortunately where I live at in Utah is highly congested. So when it's time for me to go to the highway, it takes me a lot longer, obviously, and then I'm doing a lot of crawling, a lot of stop and go, a lot of stops at lights. Therefore, I do get more active regens. When I lived in Maryland, I never saw my DPF get much more over than like probably like I would say a quarter, because I learned very quickly how to drive my diesel truck. I towed a lot more. That's why I bought my black trailer too. Wanted to do tow tests, but just to give me something to do if I want to move my wife's car, go take it to get service without having to drive it. This gave me something to do basically, and that way I can keep that exhaust hot and cleaned out. And so with this truck, I don't live right off the highway, therefore I'm always having issues with this. And you may or may not know this, but I don't normally drive my truck unless I'm towing. So as I mentioned, I do some towing tests with other trucks. And the only time I really drive my truck now is when I'm towing that trailer out, or if I'm towing our RV. I do have a spare car that I drive out to get videos, things like that. The problem is, it's just sitting in the trailer right now and I don't feel like taking it out. So I have been driving my truck more, which means, yeah, my regen, actually it just went off. So regen off, although it's still saying particulate matter at 328%. But once I get to 15 up here, I'll basically be on the highway for like 30 minutes or so, and that particulate matter will go down to just 0% basically. But yeah, owning a diesel truck, it does suck. I'm sure some of you guys saw the video I did on fuel dilution. Fuel dilution is another factor that you have to consider. I know that some people are like, well, the biggest issue on diesel engines is, you know, really the exhaust system and the EGR. And I would say EGR is probably number one, because literally you're throwing trash back into your engine. I mean, it's the worst thing for our trucks. And as I've said, they've made it so illegal to really tamper with those systems. Like, you can't just go and take the things off. Like where I'm at here in Utah, I'm in a county, shockingly in a red state, where they actually monitor emissions. So you have to have that crap intact. Whereas in Maryland, once you did your Maryland state inspection and you get a diesel, they didn't do emissions for diesel. So you are safe in that state. Now I'm pretty sure at some point they're gonna change that. And let's just pray that our new commander-in-chief will have time on his hand to really fix this issue, because if people are allowed to make life decisions for children, I should be able to make life decisions for my truck. I mean, I'm just saying here, having all this crap on my truck, as you guys can see, it does more harm to the environment because we're using more fuel to burn off that soot inside the DPF. And I actually noticed, I never paid attention because I have this Banks monitor. I like did a wide open throttle from a dig, and I saw some smoke come out of the exhaust, and I was like, well, that's not abnormal, because normally when you launch it from a stop, you're gonna basically waste a little bit of diesel until that turbo spools up, and then once you go, that's when that combustion starts to, you know, really, you know, basically have a clean burn, as for lack of a better term. But even when I was rolling, I hit it again. Oh, what kind of car is that? Oh, that's a Maserati. That looks pretty darn good, actually. Hopefully you guys saw it. That's like their little exotic car. But yeah, what I was saying was, when I launched it again, I also saw some more smoke come out, and that's probably because that DPF is really hot and is burning off some of the soot inside of the that system, basically. Something else to consider, some people have said that you can run like automatic transmission fluid in the diesel fuel for like better lubrication, or like run a little bit of diesel oil, and you cannot do that on newer trucks, especially emissions trucks, because diesel, obviously when it burns, it turns into ash, and ash is terrible for DPF systems. You will absolutely destroy that system if you put anything outside of the regular diesel you're supposed to put in there. I would just run either an additive. I normally run this. I run it every fill up. I run this Hot Shot Secret. This is the everyday diesel treatment. You know, it's just cheap, you know, peace of mind for me. That's all it is. And I will recommend, if you care about your truck, if you want your truck to last a long time, just do stuff that will help it to last longer. But yeah, I think that this system, I'm really considering weight loss program, but I won't be able to do videos on it. I'll be honest with you guys, I won't be able to tell you. It'll just be something I do because I don't want to get in trouble, right? I don't want to have issues with the government. I'm pretty sure people on my channel who don't like me will definitely tell on me too, so I can't do it on my channel. But you know, hey, at the end of the day, you will see stuff about it. I just won't, it won't be my truck when I do it. That's all I'm saying. But I hope you guys liked the video. I'm done rambling. I just saw that my truck was doing a regen, and yeah, I just want to show it to you guys. But I will be doing more videos on the iDash. I'm serious when I say this. 100% get the iDash. It is worth the coin. Even if you have a minivan, I'm just saying, like, it would be worth it for even that. That way you can monitor some of the, you know, some of the temps on your truck. But my wife's calling me. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, really quickly, I have to show this to you guys. So I've been driving for almost an hour. I've gone 36 miles, so you can kind of tell that I'm just sitting in traffic pretty much. And I got 12.1. Even with that stop and go, at this point, I'm typically at 15 to 16 mpgs. And with that being said, you lose quite a bit of fuel economy when your truck is doing a regen, because obviously it's using diesel to burn off into the DPF. So you're not even using that fuel for your combustion, you're just using it just to clean off a pipe that you don't even want in your truck. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to show that to you. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. These systems don't benefit anybody. It's just a way to prevent people from buying these trucks. And people are starting to not buy them, right? Like, there are guys who are like, you know, I don't want a diesel truck. I just want a gas truck. And that's what they're getting. And they're talking about adding particulate filters to gas trucks. So, I mean, it's just something you have to consider. I'm just saying, hopefully these next 4 years bring a lot of relax on these stupid emission crap. Later.